Hey, what is up? My name is Catherine and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a July anti-haul. This is all the makeup that I'm not going to be buying in July. Well, actually, it's not all the makeup that I'm not going to be buying in July because that would be like a 10-hour long video because it basically just be all the makeup in the universe pretty much. This is going to be new releases that I'm not going to be buying in July. If you're interested in the eye look and the base makeup look, both will be coming shortly, so make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. And yeah, let's just get into it. So shout out to Trend Mood for being my source for this video because I'm basic and I pretty much only keep up with Trend Mood for my makeup news. So first thing that I want to talk about is the Kylie Cosmetics summer collection, mainly the palette, because this is just like one of those palettes where I'm like, why did you feel the need to make this? Like what like compelled you to create this palette? Like, were you really looking at the makeup industry and saying that yes, we need this palette in our lives? It's just like, it's so hard for makeup companies to be original like at all anymore, but especially with eyeshadow palettes. But it's just like there's no depth to the palette, which like it's a summer palette. Like not many people are putting black eyeshadow on their eyelids in the summer anyways, but it's like there's 4 mattes and they're all brown. They're all medium to light brown, so we're not really encompassing a whole wide range of skin tones with this palette. And then of the shimmers, only 3 or 4 colorful. I say 3 or 4 because I'm not really sure if I qualify that peach and that yellow gold as colorful or not. And it's like, don't get me wrong, like some of it's pretty. Like I do think that turquoisey shade and that green shade are really pretty. It's just like the industry doesn't need this. There's nothing that's unique about this. Like it's just not unique. And I feel like Kylie has actually made some really pretty palettes. Like even some of her neutral palettes, I like looked at them and I'm like, oh, you know what, like I don't need that in my collection, but like this is like a compelling color story. And like nothing about the way that this is laid out, the way it's presented, like so nothing about the colors speak to me and make me think that this is a unique palette that the industry needs at all. Then she also came out with these shimmer eye glazes, which actually look really pretty, especially that blue one with a gold flip, but there is no force on this planet that could convince me that this is not just essentially a Colorpop Super Shock eyeshadow in a glass jar. However, I did really appreciate watching her try to stick her finger in there with those big ol' acrylics and not really being able to like actually reach the product because her acrylics are blocking them. I fully appreciate that. So I'm still happy that she released these just because I got to watch her struggling to actually swatch them. Next thing that I want to talk about is this BH Cosmetics release. So they added to their travel palettes collection, which I don't really understand how this is their travel palettes collection because these look like substantial palettes. They look like they are about the same size as probably my Tarte Pro palette, which is like very comfortable to my head. And if you've never met me in person, I have a pretty large head, so like these aren't exactly tiny palettes. I think that maybe the travel aspect of them is that they have a mirror. I don't really know, but like they don't scream travel palette to me. To me, travel palette is like a very compact palette with a mirror where you can do a lot of looks with the one palette. And I also don't really look at these palettes and get quite inspired to do a lot of looks, especially that more cool toned one. There's only 4 mattes, not a lot of range there. The deepest is like a sort of burgundy red. And then the other one, the Summer in Saint Tropez, don't even know if I'm saying that right because I'm very uncultured, is strictly colorful, which there are people that do all colorful eyeshadow looks, but like when I'm on vacation, I am like sunburnt and dehydrated and like barely want to put makeup on at all. So like I'm not really thinking to do a rainbow cut crease before dinner when I'm on vacation. So like this one is one that's pretty, but it's like none of the colors are that unique. I have so many hot pinks in my collection that like I just don't need it, even though I actually really do love BH Cosmetics colorful eyeshadow formula. It just doesn't like pop out to me. I'd actually be more inclined to buy this if it was like an 8-pan palette and it was only all the like purpley pink shimmer and matte shades that are in that Summer in Saint Tropez palette. Like I actually probably would cop that if it was just that, but I don't need another giant palette in my collection, you know what I mean? I do actually like the blush palette, the Glowing in Grease palette. That's quite pretty. I think this is one that like, I'm not gonna buy it right now, especially because like BH always has sales. I don't buy anything from them full price, but it's one that like if I was placing an order from them, I might pick it up because the blushes look right up my alley. They're those corally peachy blushes, and then the Athens highlighter looks very, very much like a highlight shade I would use on a regular basis, and I love the highlighter formula in the Carly Bybel palette that I have, so I would love like a giant size of that. And then even the other two highlighters, though I wouldn't be able to use them as highlighter, I could probably use it as a blush topper. So like that actually looks like something that I would get use out of, even though it's nothing like crazy unique. Oh, you know what? I just swiped and it looks like the blushes are shimmer blushes, even though they don't look like it in the pan. You know what? Never mind. That's canceled. I'm not getting it. Moving on to House Laboratories. So when this was announced, I was actually super excited. I am a mega Lady Gaga fan. I love Lady Gaga. Little known fact about me, I just think she's absolutely fantastic. She brought so much to the music industry, and I watched A Star Is Born on an airplane because no one warned me, and I cried on the airplane for like half an hour. The flight attendant was like, are you okay? And I was like, no, but like, yeah. Anyways, I was really excited about this when it was announced because I was just like, Lady Gaga is like that girl, like she's gonna bring it with this makeup line. And then like, turns out she's releasing lip kits, and it's like I pretty much exclusively wear lip gloss nowadays, and I just don't need another lipstick, like liquid lipstick, lip kit, any type of that in my life right now. So like if she expands this down the line, I would consider buying stuff from it. But like I really thought she was gonna be like Rihanna level of just like bringing it with her celebrity makeup line, where like Rihanna had the Fenty foundation where she literally changed the makeup industry with her shade range, and then like this, like Lady Gaga is pulling a Kylie Jenner and coming out with lip kits, except it's literally 4 years after Kylie Cosmetics launched, so like lip kits aren't even like special anymore. Like every brand has a lip kit, so I'm just like a little confused by this. One thing that's like really weird is the fact that it's going to be exclusively sold on Amazon. Like smart on Amazon's part to be finding a unique way to capitalize on the makeup industry, because it is a giant industry. I'm surprised that Amazon doesn't have their own makeup line, to be perfectly honest, but that is interesting. I know a lot of people are kind of mad about that because Amazon doesn't treat their workers the best, but reality is pretty much all of us have Amazon Prime. We all expect all of our packages to show up at our door in 2 days now, thanks to Amazon Prime. So I just think it's like one of those things where, like, not to be cheesy, but it's like, wow, the world's really changing. Like we have a makeup line that is now exclusively sold on Amazon. Like that's kind of wild. Next thing that's just really weird to me is the Frida Kahlo collection at Ulta. Like this I just don't like this. Like I don't like the idea behind this. It just seems like weird to me for like a mega corporation to suddenly be doing a whole line that's just like slapping the face of a woman of color on it, and there's like nothing that says that like her family is benefiting from this in any way or like getting any of the rights to it. Like it just doesn't, like, it just, the whole thing rubs me wrong. I definitely wouldn't be buying something like that, and it just gives me an icky feeling. I don't like it. That's all. Next is KKW Beauty's Fire collection. This is just so boring. It's kind of like funny to me that she even calls it the Fire collection. Like looking at that palette, I'm like, okay, the packaging is orange and you have like this one muted orange and this one muted red in there, but like nothing about this screams fire to me. It just, like, the palette is so boring, and I get that that's kind of like her whole brand, is it's more like of like a, I don't even want to say mature because then like people are gonna think that I'm like age shaming her or whatever, but it just seems to be like more of like a let's go with classy. It's like a more classy, very like subdued vibe is like her whole makeup brand, but it's just like, if you're gonna call it the Fire palette, and it's like, what I don't understand is, it's like, why do brands feel the need to release a new neutral eyeshadow palette every 3 months? Like, it's fine, neutral eyeshadow palettes are your brand, they're your thing, but like, stop releasing a new neutral eyeshadow palette every 3 months and acting like it's the most unique thing in the world. And for like a hot second, I was intrigued because I saw that she's like selling individual shadow things, and I thought they were going to be liquid shadows, but turns out they are shadow sticks, which don't really interest me at all. The only thing that I would even like consider getting from this is the gloss, which it's like, I'm not gonna just like go buy a lip gloss from KKW Beauty, so that's just, yeah, we're not doing any of that. Next is something that did interest me for like 2 seconds until they actually announced what it actually was, which is the Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue foundation. So I was like excited when I saw that they were coming out with foundation, because all of my favorite beauty gurus really love Dose of Colors products in general. So I was like, ooh, this might be the thing that like makes me try Dose of Colors. And then turns out it's a full coverage matte foundation, which I don't need any more of in my life. I'm over matte foundations, I'm over full coverage foundations, I'm almost over foundation in general. I'm not wearing foundation right now. It's probably like partially just because it's hot outside, but it's like, I don't know, I just like, I like my skin. I'm okay if my skin looks like skin. The main reason that I really wear foundation is when I want to do like a full glam look, and I don't want it to be like, oh, here's a full glam look and then just like a bunch of like uneven skin redness like right next to it. I just like, that's really the reason that I wear foundation. But like, I don't need more full coverage matte foundation, and I just like, I don't understand why places release full coverage foundations in the summer, because I certainly don't want that on my skin in the summer. Where are all the dewy foundations? I feel like we've had so many matte foundation releases lately, like the Juvia's Place foundation and the Juvia's Place foundation, because I can't even think of any others because I'm really dumb, but I'm just really over matte foundations. Next up is actually something that did caught my eye. Something that I am semi interested in, but like in the future. It's the Milani Gilded palettes. So they released 3 little 9-pan palettes that have 2 highlighters on the side, and one of them is actually also sold on Amazon, and it like launched on Amazon, so that was interesting. These are really cute. They're $20, but I really love the formula of the one Milani eyeshadow palette that I have, and I think it's interesting to see that they've made 2 sort of colorful-ish eyeshadow palettes. So I think those are something that I might actually check out in the future, and I'm still gonna call this an anti-haul because I can. But actually, yeah, let me know if you'd be more interested in seeing me check out the like purpley one or the more green one. I probably wouldn't do the more like muted orangey and burgundy one just because that's less interesting to me. But yeah, if you would be interested in seeing me do a video with those, let me know which one and I will consider it for the more distant future. This is gonna shock everyone, but Colorpop actually released a product that I'm just not really like quite vibing with right now. So these are the Just a Tint lip crayons, and it's not even the actual product. I really love the idea of the product. It's just none of the colors really speak to me quite that much. I don't know. These are ones where I would need to see them on because like the swatches just so like this very like thick swatch of color where none of the colors are lipstick colors that I particularly want. But it sounds like it's supposed to be something that like more just like blots on, if that makes any sort of sense, which I am very interested in because I am very much a gloss girl, and it sounds like it'd be something that's like in between maybe like a gloss and a lipstick, but like not that like thick. I don't know what I'm talking about. Just like a sheer coverage in between a lipstick and a lip balm, not a lip gloss and a lipstick. That's what it sounds like. But just none of the colors really, like they all seem sort of dark for like what I would want out of a product like this. I'd want like a very light peach or like a very light nude out of something like this. I don't think I want like a bunch of berries, which it seems to be at the moment. But like I said, I need to see those on. Like, I pretty much place a Colorpop order like every week, so I'm sure one of them is gonna end up in my cart eventually, but like it's just not something where I'm like, I have to buy this at 10 a.m. PST when it releases. Let's see, next is Kylie Skin. So she released a bunch of body products, and I'm not really like into body skincare particularly, mostly because I'm lazy. I just use like drugstore lotions and whatever, if I even remember to put on lotion. One thing that is kind of interesting about this though is the SPF oil. I've never really heard of an SPF oil, but I burn really easily, so if that gets good reviews, I might check it out, because like I hate putting like sunscreen on just like during the day, but then if I'm wearing a shirt like I am right now and I like walk outside for more than like 5 minutes, then I'm coming back with a sunburn, unless I have my daylight ring on, in which case I don't burn in the sun. Be Perfect came out with the Carnival XL Pro. So the Carnival palette is one that I like considered buying for the longest time, and then just like never did, because taking that plunge to pay for international shipping is just like never ever the vibe for me. But my friend has the Carnival palette and says it's super amazing. But I just like look at this and I'm like, did you really need to make this? Because the Carnival palette was already this giant palette to begin with, and this doesn't like seem unique compared to it, but like it's pretty, and I guess they're just capitalizing on the success of the first palette. But like this definitely looks like one where if you have the original, you 100% do not need the remake. Lastly is the Morphe 35H Hotspot Artistry palette. So I'll actually give it to them. This is like a quite cute palette, and it seems to be the very trendy colors of the moment, but it's just not something I need. Morphe palettes, I like am always put off by the price of them. Like this is one where I'm like, ooh, I do actually really like those little navy shades down in there. But like I don't need a giant 35 shade palette just for 2 navy shades. And it's like, even if I felt like I needed a bunch of blues and a bunch of like reddish oranges, I feel like I'd be better off spending the same amount of money and getting the Colorpop Blue Moon and whatever that watermelon palette was, just because those are like 2 compact palettes that would fit in my collection easier, even though you're getting less shades. Like sometimes less is more. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, that's all I'm going to talk about today. Obviously those weren't all of the new releases in July, but those are the ones that I found interesting enough to talk about, but still not interesting enough to buy. So let me know what products caught your eye this month. I feel like the industry is just so oversaturated that it's so hard for anything to catch my eye nowadays, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels that way. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you did enjoy, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.